Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hampshire Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today we are revisited by Elizabeth Gillis of Regain Health and Balance. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So before we get started, we're going to do a quick word from our sponsors, and then we're going to jump right into this interview. Okay, I want to take a second and introduce our newest sponsor, Zim Ventures. So head over to nhbusinessshow.com/Zim Ventures and check out their amazing services in website design, SEO optimization, and all the craziness that goes along with hosting your websites. So nhbusinessshow.com/Zim Ventures. Okay, cool. So let's see. So Elizabeth, so for those who didn't watch the last one, do you mind just giving a real brief summary of your story again?
As far as my personal story, how I got into doing my business what I offer. Okay.
Yeah, sure, that and then what your
So
business
I
is.
am a natural healthcare advocate and the owner of Regain Health and Balance, and I basically help people either maintain their existing health and vitality, or I help to improve their health if they have a number of health concerns. So I got into this because I myself went through a health challenge. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in the late 1990s, and I did find natural methods to get me into remission, and I am actually healthier now than I was when I was in my 20s. So that just got me into a path of more natural options rather than the traditional conventional approach to healthcare, and it's worked out very well for me.
Cool, awesome. So let's talk about what it is you do. So I know last time we kind of went over it, but so let's talk about the actual program you offer and some of the benefits it has.
So I offer services. I offer a few different things that people come in to see me for. One of the things that I offer, and the main thing that I offer, is the Body Talk healthcare system. Mm-hmm. And that is a really unique approach to healthcare because we actually use muscle testing to ask the body to find out what its needs are, rather than talking to the client. Well, we do talk to the client, of course, but rather than me trying to make an educated guess about what we need to work with, the body has this really incredible wisdom to it. And we tap into that because when you give the body what it wants, then the changes that you experience are actually lasting. Mm-hmm. So that is one of the things that we do is the Body Talk healthcare system. The second is doing lymphatic drainage because the lymphatic system is responsible for virtually every function in the body. And in order for us to be healthy, our lymphatic system needs to be moving very well. And these days, most of us don't get enough movement and that type of thing. And so it's very important to keep that system moving. I also offer something called an essential general balance or an essential body balance. And that takes a key number of techniques from the Body Talk healthcare system to give a balance of all the most often needed things that go on in the body. So balancing hydration on a cellular level, having the body look at the body chemistry to address possible pathogens, improving brain health and cognitive function, kind of balancing out the stress system and helping people to structurally to help them maintain better posture and bone alignment and that type of thing to help with chiropractic adjustments lasting a little bit longer.
That's cool.
So those are the main services that I offer, and also the energetic facelift. So that is kind of a spa-like therapy that I offer, and that is more along the lines of just really bringing a lot of vitality into the skin and the face and the body, and we're stimulating 26 different energies within the body, and over time with repeat sessions you actually start to see a lessening of fine lines and wrinkles, tightening of the skin, and more lasting results after repeat visits. And that's a very, very relaxing rejuvenation type therapy that we offer.
Yeah. So there's a lot in that.
There is.
There's
a nice menu for people to choose from.
Yeah. Yes. Services. Yes. So I guess we start with the basics of the Body Talk.
Okay.
So I keep thinking of that Tovlo song, Talking Bodies. I don't know why it keeps flashing in my head. But so I'm familiar with, how do you want to put it? Western medicine, I get that. You know, we've had that conversation
You're right.
before.
Yep.
But then, you know, I understand massage therapy and kind of the chiropractic parts of it. So where does that kind of fall in with what you do? Because I know touching people actually has a very interesting effect to them. So, like, it's pretty cool.
So this is actually neither one. So this is an energy-based therapy.
Yeah.
So it is a state-of-the-art integrative mind-body medicine.
Yeah.
And so although there is some touching involved, it is not necessary in order to actually get results.
Okay.
And this looks at a lot of Chinese medicine. It looks at the facts and findings of Western medicine and many, many ancient healing modalities that has been integrated into one system that really looks at addressing imbalances in the nervous system, the way it communicates with the body. Because of stress, those communication systems break down. So in the Body Talk healthcare system, we can identify them, reestablish them so that the body can work more efficiently and then heal itself, because that's really what it's meant to do.
Yeah. And how do you accomplish that without touching someone?
Well, I do touch. There's gentle touch, there's hand positions, and there's gentle tapping. But it's through the training that I'm able to do that. There's a lot of focus involved, and it's really about communicating with the body and letting it know what you want to occur or what the potential for change is. So not something that's really easy to explain in a short interview, but if you look into energy medicine and balancing that body, the energies of the body, it's really interesting how much can be done, and there is absolutely no ability to cause harm.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, again, we're kind of getting to that area where I guess it can get controversial because people, you know, they'll fight with like, oh, Western medicine, and then you start talking energies.
Yeah, this kind of bridges the gap, but there's no harmful side effects.
Yeah.
And you can do a full orthopedic evaluation on someone before a session and then do one after, and they can actually have physical changes even if you don't physically touch them.
Yeah.
So because the energies of the body are actually very powerful. And that's the piece that's missing in Western medicine.
Yeah.
So Western medicine is great. It's very important. There are so many medical advances that they've done, but working with the body's energy, because Western medicine is not really preventative. It can only help you after a problem is occurring, where energy-based therapies and energy medicine is preventative, and it can address all the things that the regular Western approach cannot.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we had body talk, which I think we've kind of gotten into.
Yep.
And yeah, because I was always thought of it because I knew about tapping and some little things, but I'm like,
yeah, this is very different. So the tapping, people always say, oh, is that EFT? And it's actually not, because EFT is using positive affirmations and tapping over the meridians in order to kind of get that into the body and kind of reprogram the body as far as those affirmations and doing the tapping over different parts of the body in order to kind of get that into your system. The tapping that we do in Body Talk is basically just to bring focus and attention into different parts of the body. So we tap over the top of the head, and that's a focusing tool. It's like someone coming around and tapping you on the shoulder, okay, to get your attention. And we have the different hand positions, which are instructions for the brain to say, okay, this is where we need you to put your focus. These are the things that are unbalanced. These are the things that need your attention or aren't working properly or aren't synchronized appropriately. And then we tap over the sternum area, and that actually stores. In Body Talk, we create these healing formulas, and it can be addressing organs. It can be addressing energies of the body, such as meridians, chakras. We can work on belief systems. We can work on fears and phobias. We can work on circulation, nerve supply of the blood, the nerve, the lymph. I mean, there's such a comprehensive amount of things that we can address, and we create this healing formula like a mathematical equation, but with words, organs, body parts, energies. And we basically give the brain a homework assignment saying, you've been slacking on taking care of these things, and it's really important for you to take care of them. So here are all of the check boxes that we've discovered that you need to go in correct, and go ahead and take a look at all of those and make all the upgrades in the systems that are necessary, the internal body systems.
Yeah.
So just like a computer, you need to do maintenance and you need to put in, virus software, and you need to clean up the hard drive and do scans and defrags. We need to do that with our bodies, and we can do that on an energetic level.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I keep saying it's cool because I say that so much. Yeah.
So it's really a powerhouse. I call it the Cadillac of energy healing.
That's funny. So, okay, I guess this is a okay enough question to go to. So, is it kind of like almost like a realignment of where the body should be, or are we actually changing how the body functions?
So we are doing a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So there are techniques in which there are body parts that might be slightly skewed and not positioned properly. That's called the body 5-axis technique, where if that's the case, we can energetically ask the body to realign certain parts and organs to each other so that they're working better together. And what was the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
Oh, are we changing or realigning?
So, like I said, we're doing
Yeah.
both. So that's the realignment part. And we are changing because every time we create a change on a chemical level, because we can address pathogens and allergies and different things like that. So we are creating a change chemically within the body as well, which then progresses on to neurologically, because then, the brain starts functioning a little bit different or more effectively, the circulation within the nerve supply and all that kind of stuff. So we are doing both in Body Talk, and it all depends on what the client needs for what we're actually going to be working on them in a session.
Yeah. Okay. So, needs. Because we're talking about being preventative as well, instead of doing what Western medicine does, which is heals or takes care of things that have happened
After they've
afterwards.
already become a problem.
So, okay, so it's fun. So this is a fun question here. I'm just trying to figure out how to frame it correctly. So we're addressing their needs, so things that technically have already happened, but we're being preventive at the same time. So I don't know if you kind of get it. I'm trying to figure out how to frame that question.
Okay, so let me see if I can clarify that without you actually asking the full question that you know that you want to ask. So 95% of what is going on with us, we are not even aware of.
Yeah.
Okay, so our body is just so intelligent. I mean, how does one cell become a whole human, after 9 or 10 months, right? So the body has this incredible knowledge. And during a Body Talk session, because the practitioner is guided to do whatever the body needs, it may be addressing things that the client doesn't even need to be addressed. So we can be addressing genetic tendencies for things such as diabetes so that they never get diabetes, right? There's a lot of things that we're doing in sessions that are as much preventative as they are addressing their current symptoms and the problems that they know that they have. I don't know, does that help?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
We're on the same subject, so I'm glad my rambling kind of got there at some point. So on your end, you're not really directing the medicine, or you're just kind of initiating the sequence. And
My
it does
job
the
is
rest?
easy. So I was told by a Body Talk instructor who went to medical school that 4 years of medical training, or virtually almost all of medical training, is all about learning how to diagnose. And there's actually a very small portion that isn't that. So as a Body Talk practitioner, you don't need to diagnose anything. All you need to do is ask the body and navigate this pretty extensive protocol chart and use the body like a human lie detector test and say, what do we need to work on? And let the body guide us as to what we need to do. So it takes me off the hook. It takes the client off the hook. And it actually makes things really easy because the body breathes a sigh of relief that it's actually getting things worked on that it needs rather than what we're cognitively aware of.
Cool. Good. It's like, yeah, we pretty much got through what I wanted to know
Okay.
there. So, okay, cool. So I guess somebody looking to reach out to you, and again, they might not even know they have an issue. Like, what are kind of some of the reasons they would reach out, or if you kind of know what I'm saying?
I do. So people come to me for various reasons. Some of them are just kind of stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
And they are looking for something that can help them move past a certain block. They're stuck in these patterns. They're stressed and overwhelmed. They have physical pain. They know that they need something, but they don't really know what they need. And a lot of my clients are people who are frustrated because they're not getting results and help through the conventional approach. So people come to see me for all kinds of different reasons, and sometimes they get more than they bargained for, but in a good way, because they don't realize that other than their physical pain, that they actually had, emotions that were causing them tension within their body, or that they had certain belief systems that were so embedded from childhood that it was preventing them because they were so scared to, take certain leaps in their lives, or because they were afraid of the way somebody was going to, look at them or think about them. So a lot of times they start shifting in their personalities, and they become a little bit braver. They're less stressed. They're less reactive to their families. They're a little bit calmer. And these are all wonderful side effects to have when you didn't even know that those were going to be side effects that you're going to receive from getting treatments and sessions. So. Yeah,
cool.
Because we can address so many different things simultaneously.
Yeah.
We can address emotions, we can address biochemical, we can address physical, all simultaneously.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. I'm glad you're keeping up with me here. Because some of these questions, I'm like, I don't know how to frame these questions.
Yeah.
It's total outside of what I typically deal with. So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Awesome. So we're going to do a quick break for our sponsors, and then we're going to roll right back. I can't even talk today. We'll right back into the interview. Okay, everybody, I am super excited. This is week one for my new diet over at Ideal Health. So that's nhbusinessshow.com/ideal. So as we move forward, every week I will be updating you as to how much weight I've lost, how it feels, all that stuff. So if you're interested in losing weight along with us, head over to nhbusinessshow.com/ideal and get signed up. But it's really cool. It's a very easy system. All you do is follow along with the plan, which I guess is the idea of a diet, right? And we'll get going from there because it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to get started. And I'll have more of an update for everyone next week. So, again, check it out, nhbusinessshow.com/ideal, and change your lives today. Let's talk about into more of the teachable stuff. So things that people can do to kind of start leveling themselves off a little bit. They're regaining health and balance.
Right.
And we'll kind of go from there. So you had mentioned rest. So let's talk about that, the importance of rest.
So the importance of rest is because, especially in this day and age, people are so stressed out, and our brains are constantly getting bombarded by stressors and EMFs and, cell phones and radiation from all of our electronics, that we're so used to going, we don't really take the time that we need to rest. So things like meditation, because whenever our body is reacting to any kind of stressor, and it doesn't matter what that stressor is, even little stressors add up. It could be waking up at 2 o'clock every morning because your neighbor's dog barks and that irritates you. It could be because you are running late for work, or you get a call from the nurse's office that your child's not feeling good and you had a meeting scheduled at work. And these are all stressors that we all experience on a daily basis. When the body is in reaction to stressors, and they don't have to be major ones, they can be like these little ones that I was just mentioning, all of the body's resources go to addressing that stress instead of addressing us being able to repair and rejuvenate. So more than ever, getting a good 8-9 hours of solid sleep a night is very important, because that's really the only time that we are giving the body the opportunity to fix itself, to repair itself. And that's also why meditation is so important. It doesn't matter. You can do it for 1 minute, 5 minutes. Just get your body out of that stress mode so it has a moment to go back into that repair and rejuvenation state. So that is why it's important to do those things for your body. We pat ourselves on the back for going, but it does catch up to us eventually. We can only go at that pace for so long, and eventually it's not going to be pretty if we keep pushing through and not actually taking the time to rest so that our bodies can repair and do the job that it's meant to do, which is to heal itself. And, sitting on the couch watching I don't know, American Horror Story is not relaxing. It's not truly resting because your brain is still getting bombarded by what is going on the TV, and you're emotionally reacting to what you see. So it's really true just shutting down, putting down the cell phone, taking 5 minutes or 1 minute just to focus on your breath and do nice, full, deep breathing and get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the beginning, it seems like it's pretty common knowledge, pretty basic, but it's something we mess up all the time. It's,
Yeah.
especially when I was in the Army, like we literally had training set aside for sleep and sleep hygiene because everyone's so bad at it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's incredible. And, you know, a lot of people get rewarded for just going. And, you know, in the end, it's not a reward at all,
Yeah.
really. So, and like I said, the body, when it's reacting to stressful situations or we're constantly going, it can't repair. It can't do both simultaneously. It's either reacting to a stressor and, you know, taking care of that emergency, because everything's an emergency to the body, doesn't know any different, or we're repairing, and you have to be in a restful state for that to happen.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So let's jump to the other one that you had mentioned.
So
which
the
was
importance
breathing.
of breath. Okay. So it's really important to learn how to properly breathe. So that should be through your diaphragm, but I'm not going to get into like the steps on how to do that. You can probably watch a YouTube video or something like that. But I just want to mention the importance of breath, because when we take a full deep breath in, it's actually creating movement through the body. So it's allowing all the cranial bones to move, to allow circulation of the cerebrospinal fluid. It is creating movement in the lungs, which then helps to pump the diaphragm, which is the holding house of where we hold a lot of our emotions when we experience them. And then the diaphragm, when it moves, creates movement in the liver. And the liver absolutely needs to have movement in order for it to not become toxic. So, but in general, all of the body tissues, every time we take a nice full breath in and out, get the movement that it needs to circulate lymph, to get everything moving and being addressed the way that it needs to be. And second, when we take a full breath in and out, the brain actually does a scan of what's going on in the body. And if you're doing shallow breathing and you're not doing nice full breaths, then the brain can't fix anything that it can't see. So if you can imagine taking a document and putting it on your copy machine and only copying the top third of the document every time you make a copy of something, that document's not going to help you very much because there's so much information that's missing. So the breath is also very important for that, for the brain to be able to do a scan in one direction. It is scanning the high frequencies of the body, the blood, the things that you can't see, the chakras, the energies, the meridians. In the other direction, it's scanning the denser things, your organs, your endocrines, your body parts, the things you can touch, your meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
So the breath is important in that because it really is the foundation for healing. And if anybody's into like really deep yoga, and the yogis, they know that breath is life. And that's one of the reasons, because without the movement that's created from the breath, then the body is not going to function properly. So that's tip number 2.
Cool. Awesome. Those are some pretty good tips. I like putting them in there because, like I was saying earlier, I always like the informational part of it, and then like the tips, so people who can't come and see you have something they can actively work on,
Right.
or at least have a direction to point themselves in to
Or be
begin.
aware.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people don't even know that they're not taking nice full breaths, and they don't know that it's actually really important.
Yeah.
You know, they hear that they should get sleep, they hear that they should breathe well, but why? Nobody really tells them why.
Yeah.
So I like to do a little education at my workshops and whatnot, and any opportunity that I get.
Yeah. So, that's a good one too. The workshops. So, talk a little about those while we're kind of.
So, just to plug myself really quick, this coming Monday at 6:30, I am having a wellness workshop, and we are going to be at Renew Body Spa and Salon, and that's a 90-minute workshop, and that teaches you a really important technique that's super easy to learn. It's fast and quick to do, and it has changed people's lives. This is a technique that really works on improving brain function. And the brain, of course, is where all health and wellness starts because it's what runs all of our programs to make sure everything in the body is working well. But it helps to improve memory, concentration, focus, clarity. If you've got if you yourself or you have a child that has ADHD, it's really great to help manage the ADHD symptoms. It's great for anyone with dyslexia or having issues with insomnia. This technique can also be done in an emergency or a trauma type situation. You call 911 first, and then if you have the opportunity, you can do this technique for the person who is injured to prevent them from going into shock or to get them out of shocks. Because if the brain goes into shock, it can't focus on what it needs to do, and it can't be calm to actually, maybe stop the bleeding process or to keep the body in, a healthy state. So that's a very important technique. And there's many, many more benefits. I've taught someone who had Parkinson's disease this technique, and literally by the time I was done with him, his shakes were done. And he called me like 3 days later thanking me profusely for this technique. And again, lots of other people that said it works great for their children because they're kind of wound up a little bit tight, calms them down really well, better performance on tests or athletic performance. And like I said, it's super easy to learn. It's super simple to do. You've got a minute and a half that it takes to do, and all you need is your hands.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. So, yeah, everyone, check that out. You definitely want to go down and see that. It's a lot of really good benefit from, whatever technique this is.
Right.
Cool. So, thank you so much for joining me again. I always have a lot of fun talking, and sometimes my thoughts get a little weird, so I'm trying to hang in there.
I try and help you out in that department.
Yeah. Cool. So, everyone, thanks for watching, and we're going to roll into a last sponsorship here in a few seconds and catch you all in the next interview. For $1 a month, yes, just $1, you can get onto our lovely business card board. I call it Business Card Mania. So head over to patreon.com/NHBusinessShow and sign up for $1 to be seen on every single one of our shows on our little advertising board.